Alright, what's up guys? We should be good. We should be live. We got a lot to talk about for tonight's shorter slate. Just a 6-gamer, but a lot has changed since I made my video last night. That was kind of expected. There's a lot of teams on back-to-backs for today. So let's talk through some of the guys that have gotten ruled out. It's mainly 2 teams that we'll talk about. First off, Utah. They're sitting both Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley. Both of those guys have already been ruled out, and Royce O'Neal is doubtful as well. So Utah expected to be without 3 starters tonight. I'm expecting Jordan Clarkson to start. I don't know if that's a guarantee, but I think Jordan Clarkson's going to have a big role regardless without Conley and Mitchell, and obviously he's a great play today. I would think Juancho Hernan-Gomez maybe starts in place of Royce O'Neal. Could be Daniel House, one of those 2 guys probably. And then I don't know what other guard starts. Like, it could be NAW, it could be Trent Forrest. There's going to be a lot to like on Utah without Mitchell and Conley. I think Gobert, if this game can stay close, I think Gobert should dominate against OKC. Like, OKC is going to have no answer for Gobert. So definitely high on Gobert. Don't know if his role really changes much, but I think the upside's there. Clarkson, though, love him today. I mean, obviously, Clarkson's a top option without Conley and Mitchell. I think Bojan gets a big bump as well. If this game can stay close, I think Bojan offers a lot of upside. And then, yeah, like starting lineup's going to be important. At this point in the season, with guys getting ruled out all the time, you have to pay attention to starting lineups, and we saw that yesterday with OKC. OKC, they didn't start 3 of their normal guys, and those 3 guys, none of them played. So you got to pay attention to starting lineup here. I think right now, Clarkson looks like a great play. Gobert, I like quite a bit. Bojan, I like quite a bit. And then based on starting lineup, you could go to Daniel House. You could go to NAW. Obviously, there's blowout risk here, but if the game can stay close, I think these Utah guys offer a lot of upside. And then on the other side, or next game with Phoenix, so Phoenix resting a lot of guys, kind of expected. No Devin Booker, no Chris Paul, no DeAndre Ayton, no Jay Crowder. I mean, I would think we're getting normal minutes from the starters. Like, I don't know if it's a guarantee, but like, if the game's close, I guess Mikal Bridges plays normal minutes. I guess Cameron Payne plays normal minutes. Right now, Phoenix doesn't really have anything to play for. But for now, I'm just going to assume these guys get their normal minutes. So, like, Cameron Payne at 5K, I think is a great play without Booker and Paul. Obviously, Cameron Payne looks like a top option now. I think Cam Johnson gets a big bump. I like him quite a bit for value. Obviously, if you want to go to Mikal, I think he's in play too. I just think Mikal is a little bit riskier just because, he is one of their main starters. So, it's kind of weird to see him not resting here. But Mikal's viable. And then JaVale McGee, we've been in this situation before where JaVale McGee starts, and like he's been pretty bad as a starter this year, but he's 4,200. I would think he plays like 24, 25 minutes. He's a really good point per minute player. With Ayton out, I think JaVale McGee is a good value too. So a lot of value now has opened up, obviously, from these 2 teams that we just talked about. But I would say my favorite Suns are probably Payne, Johnson, McGee. And then if you want to go to Bridges or like Torrey Craig or even Landry Shamet, you could definitely go to those guys too. But right now, man, with the way the NBA is, you got to pay attention to starting lineups. Obviously, that's where you're going to make a lot of your decisions because starting lineups are going to be so important this time of the season. You want to make sure guys are in the starting lineup. As we saw last night with OKC, some of those guys did not start that we didn't expect to, and they didn't even play. So very tricky situation right now. I'll definitely have to be paying attention to starting lineups later in the night. But there's a lot of values opened up, so it should be very easy to pay up for studs today if that's the route you want to go. Luka, KD, Trey, it should be pretty easy to build around like maybe 2 of those guys. If not, I don't know if you can play 3, but maybe 2 of the 3. But let's talk through these. Let's talk through these things. Talk through things. If you guys have questions, you can throw those in chat. We'll be live for about 20, 25 minutes, answer questions, and hopefully we can all win some money tonight. It's been tough with the NBA right now, like with just how so much uncertainty there is, but let's hopefully we can win some money tonight, fellas. Irving and Tatum or George and DeRozan? Give me Irving and Tatum there, Nick. Who is someone in your lineup that isn't in the core? Right now, Luka's not a core play for me, but he's in my lineup, and that's just because there's enough value to get him in. Like, I think with the core plays, if you build around the core plays, you still have like a lot of salary left. So I have Luka in my lineup right now. He's not a core play, but there's just so much value on the slate. It's very easy to build around Luka and another stud, which is kind of the route I'm taking. No, my God, thank you for the time and advice. Always hoping for a better night tonight. Let's get it. Hey, let's get it, Galvin. Let's get it, my man. I'm definitely, I think I'm going to start, playing lighter at this point in the season. Scaling back my play a little bit just because there is so much uncertainty right now. You just don't know the motivation for some of these teams. You'll play a guy and he'll get benched just because, for no reason. It's just, there's a a lot of uncertainty right now in the NBA. I'm definitely ready for the playoffs, man. I think the playoffs would be fun. At this point in the season, I'd definitely scale back my my volume a little bit. But hopefully we can win some money tonight. Favorite Suns and Jazz? Yeah, I think my favorite Suns are definitely Payne, Johnson, and JaVale McGee. And then on the Jazz side, probably Clarkson and Bojan. But I do like Rudy Gobert still, if you want to go there. But definitely Clarkson for sure, my favorite Jazz. What's poppin', Noah? Let's get this money. Poku killed me last night. Yeah, Poku, man, that's why you got to pay attention to the news. Like, once I saw that Poku wasn't starting, it was almost like I knew he probably wasn't going to play. They basically, I mean, what OKC did last night is something that it's probably not going to be the last time they do it. Like, there's going to be another game this season where it could be tonight. OKC just plays like a 7-man rotation, and they just play all these young guys. Like, OKC yesterday literally signed 2 guys off the street to 10-day contracts and played them like 40 minutes. So, yeah, man, pay attention to starting lineups. If a guy who normally starts is not starting, that should be an automatic red flag that they're not playing, or they're just going to play limited minutes. So, like, I don't think this happens, but by some chance, if Gobert doesn't start tonight, that's obviously a red flag that he might not play, or he might play limited minutes. So, got to pay attention to the news at this time of the season. Quickly and Tatum or Payne and Durant. Give me Payne and Durant there. Cam or Bojan. I like both, honestly. I think it's really close. I think Cam is a little bit safer just because that game doesn't have as much blowout risk, but I think both those guys look good. Both are definitely getting bumps, with OKC resting who they're resting, and with Phoenix resting their guys. Both those guys are getting bumps tonight. Cam Payne, Vic Krejci, Trey, Mikal, Livers, Bogdanovic, Gobert, and Tatum. I mean, I think that's okay, Brandon. I want to pay attention to OKC's starting lineup just because, like, if Poku, Wiggins, Theo Maledon, like, if all those guys play, I'm not super excited about really any Thunder just because at that point, OKC's going to have, like, 11 available players. But, like, if Krejci starts and OKC only runs, like, an 8-man rotation or 7-man rotation, then, yeah, he's viable. Mikal, I am a little hesitant on tonight. I think Mikal could get limited a little bit just because it's very odd that he's like the only starter that didn't get rested. I think Mikal's actually played every single game this season. Like, he has started in every single game, so he might be trying to complete that achievement, I guess, where he starts every game. This could be a game that he starts and maybe plays like 20 minutes just because Phoenix, they don't have anything to play for right now. So a little bit worried about Mikal, but I think the rest of that lineup's fine. Sirius Jones, what's up, my man? What's up, my man? Clarkson, Jaylen Brown, Bogdanovic, KD, McGee, Payne, Cam Johnson, Hartenstein. Any better? 500 util. I mean, Hartenstein's like really expensive, isn't he? What's his price on DK? Yeah, like he's 5,400. I don't know about Hartenstein right now. I would think there's probably someone else that'd play over him. I mean, do you have Jordan Clarkson? Yeah, you do have Clarkson. Okay. You have Payne. Yeah, you already have Payne. I mean, if Jalen Horde starts, so like if OKC does the same thing they did last night and they run a 7-man rotation, they play these guys massive minutes, then yeah, Jalen Horde is going to be in play. But if Jalen Horde is not starting and he's back on the bench, then at that point I don't want to pay $5K for Jalen Horde. But if OKC starts the same guys they started yesterday, that makes me assume that they're running like a 7-man rotation again or 8-man rotation. So if they do that and Jalen Horde plays 46 minutes like he did yesterday, I mean, at 5K, I'd have a lot of interest in Jalen Horde. We got to wait for that OKC starting lineup. That's going to be really important. He could maybe be the guy you go with, though. Thoughts on DeRozan? With LaVine back, I'm not super high on DeRozan. It's also a really tough matchup against the Bulls, against the Celtics, excuse me. So the Bulls are not a team I'm really that interested in today. Not much stands out there. Noah the GOAT. Hey, appreciate you, Gabriel. Appreciate you, my man. Hat to the back, let's get it. Hey, let's get it, man. Let's get it. I'm going to have a hat on every day. I can't come on here with a bald head. I got to cover up my bald head, so I'm going to have a hat on every day until my hair grows back. At least for, the next month or so. What game do you think people are building more around? I mean, you're definitely going to be building around Phoenix tonight and OKC just because those are not OKC, but Phoenix and Utah, because those are the two teams that are resting key players, so there's value. So you're going to see a lot of lineups with 1 or 2 Jazz, 1 or 2 Suns. And, we kind of talked about the guys I like from those teams. Rudy Gay or Hachimura? I'd probably take Hachimura there, straight up. You like NAW or not? I think NAW, if he starts, is a pretty good value. I would think NAW probably plays in a blowout as well. And obviously there's a lot of blowout risk. in that game against OKC. So if NAW starts, I feel pretty good about him as a value play. If he doesn't start, I think he's a little bit riskier. But yeah, if he starts, I think he's for sure in play. DD, what's up, my man? What's up, my man? McGee 3,500 or Gaffer 3,900 on FanDuel. I would definitely take McGee. Thoughts on Biyombo? I mean, I don't mind Biyombo. Him and McGee are probably going to split the center minutes. I think last time Ayton was out, McGee did not play that well, and Biyombo played really well, if I remember correctly. Or maybe not. Maybe they both were kind of mediocre. But I would think we get like 24 minutes from from McGee and maybe like 20 minutes from Biyombo. Maybe they play a few minutes like Cam Johnson at the 5 or something. But yeah, Biyombo's an okay value. I definitely would rather get to McGee, assuming McGee starts. But Biyombo's going to be lower owned, a lot lower owned, I'd assume. So if you want to go there, I don't hate it. What are we thinking with OKC? Seems like a mystery. Nick, I have no idea, man. I really don't know. Yesterday, they never ruled out Theo Maledon, Poku, or Wiggins. They just didn't play him. So if Theo Maledon, Poku, and Wiggins are not starting, my best guess is they're not playing again. And at that point, OKC is going to run like an 8-man rotation. So it's just a wait and see for me right now. OKC's starting lineup is going to be really important. That's going to dictate my interest in that team. If they run the same starting lineup they did yesterday, then there's going to be plenty of guys to go to from OKC just because they're going to play those starters huge minutes for the most part, especially like Jalen Horde. He's been playing huge minutes. Trey or Doncic, I mean, I think both are good plays. There's enough value on the slate to play both. If I had to pick one straight up, I think given the savings, I give a slight edge to Trey. Jalen Horde in play, we kind of mentioned him. It's going to depend on starting lineup for me, whether or not I have interest in Jalen Horde. OKC couldn't even lose to Portland. Yeah, it was so funny, man. OKC literally, they're trying to tank, and they couldn't even do that. They still lost yesterday. It was so funny. Or they still won yesterday against Portland. I mean, that's just next level bad when you're trying to tank and you still can't even do it. You're winning games when you're trying to tank. It's just, what? You like Barrett? I mean, I think Barrett's viable. Even though the Knicks have nothing to play for, like they've still been playing RJ Barrett big minutes. So I'm guessing if this game stays close against Brooklyn, which it should, I think right now the spread's like 4 points. I'm guessing we're getting like 36 minutes from RJ Barrett. So yeah, no issue going there. Obviously his upside without Julius Randle is much, much higher. I just think with the value that has opened up now, this is shaping up as like a stars and scrubs kind of slate. Thoughts on Jaylen Brown? I mean, Jaylen Brown's fine. I don't love a ton on the Celtics tonight. In general, that game is not one I'm super high on. I think it's more of a defensive type game than one I want to be heavily invested in. But Jaylen Brown's fine. If you play on Yahoo, I know Jaylen Brown stands out a little bit more over there because he's a shooting guard, and the shooting guard position is pretty bad on Yahoo. What do you think about Irving, Brown, Levine core? I mean, again, like Levine, I'm not super high on today. I don't love a ton from the Bulls in general. But I think that's fine. I mean, there's enough value on the slate. You could probably play all three of those guys in the same lineup. Does Boston have anything to play for? I think they still could maybe move up or down in the standings. Let me see. So right now, Boston is... Boston is the 2 seed. So Boston, the Bucks, and the Sixers are the 2, 3, and 4 seed, and they all have the same record. So basically, Boston, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia all have the same record right now. So I'm guessing Boston wants to win games to keep the 2 seed. If they get the 2 seed, then they would, I don't know who they would play in the first round. They might play the Nets, which is probably not a matchup you want in the first round. But yeah, I think Boston still have something to play for. I mean, they've clinched a playoff spot, but they could still go up or down in the standings depending on if they win or lose games. Are they going to be motivated to win games? Like, do they care about going up or down the standings? I don't know. But for now, I'm assuming Boston just plays normal tonight. I know Boston does play again tomorrow, so they might rest guys tomorrow. We'll just have to see. But yeah, I'm expecting Boston guys to play their normal minutes. Would you play Kyrie and KD together? I normally don't do that. And on this slate with other pay-up options, like I feel like you're really limiting your upside there. Like we haven't seen a ton of games this season where both KD and Kyrie have put up like massive ceiling games. It's normally one or the other. So yeah, I don't think I'd be doing that personally. OKC tried to lose and won. Yep, they literally tried to lose the game and they still won. You hate to see it. 5,500 for util. I'd probably take like Jordan Clarkson or Cameron Payne, probably one of those guys. Aaron Holiday. I mean, Aaron Holiday's fine. I don't know how many minutes he plays. I don't think he's really been in the rotation lately. But you would have to think without Booker and without Paul, like he probably gets some minutes. He would probably play in a blowout too if this game gets ugly by some chance. So Aaron Holiday's fine, but I don't think his minutes are going to be super, super high. I mean, he really hasn't even been in the rotation lately. But he'll get some run. I just don't know if he gets enough to be a guy that I really want to roster. You like PG tonight? I mean, PG's always playable, but I'd rather get up to like Trey, KD, Luka. The Clippers don't really have anything to play for right now, which is kind of weird. Yeah, they're still playing all their guys, or at least they're expected to. I think PG's just trying to get in a little bit of a rhythm before the play-in tournament. So I expect PG to play his full run, I guess, even though the Clippers don't really have anything to play for. He's playable, but I'd rather get up to like Luka, Trey, especially so KD and Trey, like those are the two guys that really stand out because, Atlanta, they need to win games right now to move up in the standings. The Nets need to win games right now, so I'm expecting huge minutes for KD, huge minutes for Trey. Those are probably my two favorite studs on the slate. Luka, I like a lot as well. I do worry a little bit about blowout there against Detroit. Durant, Powell, or Barrett and Gobert? Give me Barrett and Gobert. Would you play KD and Kyrie together? We kind of answered that. I don't think I would. Ish Smith or Man? Give me Ish Smith. Starting lineups seem extra important here. Yeah, starting lineup's going to be really important at this time of the season. Thoughts on Seth Curry? I mean, Seth Curry's upside when he's playing with KD and Kyrie is just really not that high. He's cheap, but I think there's just better value on the slate. You got, all those guys we've talked about in a similar price range that I'd just rather go to. Barrett or DeRozan? Give me Barrett, honestly. Thoughts on Pickett and Braxton Key? I mean, Detroit, like, they're a team I just really want to be avoiding right now. I don't know what kind of rotation Detroit's going to run tonight. I don't know how many guys they're going to play. What is their motivation in this game? Like, are they going to play Cade Cunningham big minutes? Are they going to play him 20 minutes? Like, we just have no idea. So I really don't know how much, Key plays or Livers plays. I would think they get a decent amount of run. They have been playing a decent amount lately, but Detroit's a team I might just, full fade here. I really don't want to be rostering a ton of Pistons on this slate. Favorite shooting guard on Yahoo? It's probably, if you can get up to Jaylen Brown, it's probably Jaylen Brown. Or, you have NAW, I think his minimum salary on Yahoo. Let's see. I think he is. Let me see. Yeah, so, if the NAW starts, I like him a lot at $10, but probably going down to NAW or going to Jaylen Brown. Shooting guard on Yahoo today is kind of gross, not the best position. You think PG gets full run? I would guess so, as long as the game's close. Even though the Clippers don't have anything to play for, I think right now they're trying to get PG in a rhythm before the play-in tournament. So I'm guessing he plays his full minutes. 4,800 at shooting guard. Let's see. I mean, I know I don't really want to play Seth Curry, but that might be your best bet. Either Seth Curry or Krejci. If Krejci starts again, then I think Krejci's fine. He did play, I think, a decent amount of minutes yesterday. He played 21. He was pretty productive in those 21 minutes. His minutes have been pretty good when he started, so might be your best bet is Krejci. Okay, we just got word that Zach LaVine's available, Alex Russo, and Matt Thomas are both out. So that was expected. That was expected. Toppin or Cam? I'm guessing that's Cam Johnson. I'd probably go Obi Toppin there. Carson Edwards, yeah, he's another guy. I just don't know how much he plays. He got a lot of run in his last game with Detroit in his debut, but does he play the same amount of minutes today? I don't know. Last game, Cade Cunningham barely played. He played 7 minutes. So does that happen again? I really have no idea. But that was a different game. Hold up. So Cade didn't play last game. So yeah, Cade's back today. So how many minutes is Cade going to take away from Carson Edwards? I just don't know. I don't think he's a guy to be going to. Okay, we just get word Mitchell Robinson is out. Well, that's annoying. I had a prop on Mitchell Robinson today. I took his over on fantasy points for prize picks, so that's kind of annoying. Well, now that Mitchell Robinson's out, I mean, that definitely changes a little bit on the Knicks. We'll have to wait and see what the starting lineup is, but I'm guessing either Taj Gibson or Jericho Sims starts. So, Taj Gibson, I mean, he's never been a good point per minute player, but he's a fine value if you want to go there. He's power forward and center eligible. Same with Jericho Sims. I'm not super excited about those guys, but whichever one starts is going to be playable. I think this does give a bump up, though, to Obi Toppin. I think Obi Toppin's minutes become a little bit more secure. without Mitchell Robinson. Don't know if it really impacts anyone else though. Man, that's really annoying. I felt pretty good about that Prize Picks prop I took on Mitchell Robinson, and it's gonna get voided now. That's annoying. Oh well. Oh well. You like Livers if he starts? He'll be playable if he starts, but yeah, I want to see what Detroit's starting lineup is first before I go there. I really don't know what Detroit's motivation is. Like, how are they going to divvy out the minutes, you know, in these games that they don't have anything to play for? Like, I really don't know. Durant or Luka in tiers? I think I'd take Durant, honestly, but it's really close. I mean, both those guys project so closely. Irving went off last game, so it's KD's turn. Honestly, it seems like that's how it goes. It really does. Like, Kyrie will go off, and then the next game it'll be KD that goes off. It does seem like that, honestly. And KD normally, when he has a bad game, he normally bounces back. So I would expect KD to bounce back tonight, have a better game than he did last night. You like big minutes for Livers tonight with Grant and Olynyk out? I mean, I don't know if he really plays big minutes, but I would think like 25 to 30 is pretty likely. Again, like, what is Detroit's motivation? How are they going to, you know, like, Kay Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, like, how many minutes are these guys going to play? I don't really know. The less minutes that these guys play, the better it is for Livers and Key, just because it's more usage available. Carson Edwards, we have no idea how many minutes Cade and Sadiq play. Would Livers play in a blowout? I think he would, so, like, Livers is an okay value if he starts. But I think there's better value that's opened up, I'll say. I'd be surprised if OKC plays the guys who sat yesterday. I would think so, yeah. Like, honestly, I think those guys are probably just done for the season. At this point, OKC is like, they're embracing tanking. I mean, they're literally signing guys off the street and just playing them huge minutes because they want to lose. So, yeah, honestly, I don't think Poku, Theo Maledon, or Aaron Wiggins play again the rest of the season. Best value center outside of McGee? I mean, I don't know if there's really much other value at center outside of McGee unless you're playing Bismack Biyombo as like a pivot off of McGee. Yeah, I really don't think there's any other value I'd be going to. Maybe Whiteside could get some blowout run against OKC. Like, that's playable. You have the Knicks guys, but again, like, I question the upside for Taj Gibson. I question the upside for Jericho Sims, but I guess they're playable. You know, now that Mitchell Robinson's out. Toppin or Bridges? I'd take Toppin. Like I said earlier, I think Mikal Bridges could maybe play limited minutes tonight. I don't know if it's a guarantee, but I think it's on the table that he plays limited minutes. Kyrie and Luka or Trey points per dollar. Probably Trey for me. Tatum and DeRozan viable. I mean, they're playable, but again, that Boston-Chicago game is not one I'm super excited about. It's two, fairly slow-paced teams. It's a game that is going to be pretty low scoring if I had to guess. Both teams are pretty much fully healthy. At least the main guys are healthy. So, yeah, I don't love a ton in that game, just to be honest with you. Kyrie or PG? I would take Kyrie. Patrick Williams for value? I think Patrick Williams is still fine. There's definitely value plays I prefer now over Patrick Williams, and we kind of talked about those guys earlier, but Patrick Williams should still play 25, 30 minutes, and his production's been better lately. Yeah, I'm still fine with Patrick Williams. You like Dwight Powell tonight? I'm fine with Dwight Powell as well. His minutes have been really good in the games he's played without Maxi Kleber. He obviously had a huge game last game. Does he have another 40-point game tonight? I would be surprised if he does, but he's still fairly cheap, I do believe. What's his price tag on DraftKings? Yeah, $4,700 for Powell. Probably gets 25, 30 minutes. It's a good matchup against Detroit. I'm fine with that. But I think I'd rather play JaVale McGee, honestly, just straight up. I know McGee's going to be more popular, but I think I'd rather take McGee. As far as prize picks, you still think Horford over PRA is decent at 23.5. I still did take it at 23.5. I made some other entries with Horford's PRA. So yeah, I still took it. So I'm fine with it. Scale of 1 to 10 on Ish Smith. I mean, Ish Smith's been playing really well lately. His minutes have been trending up. It all depends on price. Like, price is a huge thing. On DraftKings, he's almost 5K, so I'm not like super high on Ish Smith on DraftKings, but like on Yahoo, he's minimum salary. So I don't know what his price is for the site you're playing. I guess you're playing on FanDuel. I don't know what his FanDuel price is. I could probably pull it up real quick. Let's see. He is, where is he? He's 4,400 on FanDuel. I mean, I would think that's pretty good. I would have to see like who else is priced around him, but I mean, yeah, 4,400 Ish Smith on FanDuel. I'm fine with that. I give it about a 7 out of 10. Any interest in Quickly tonight? I mean, Quickly's been playing really well lately. Minutes have been good. The price tag's way up there though, so like at his price tag, I do kind of question the upside. Like he's gonna have to have a really good game to pay off that price tag, but I think the Knicks right now, I mean, they're kind of trying to evaluate these younger guys. They want to see what they have in Quickly, Obi Toppin. So I expect big minutes for Quickly once again. It's 6,100. It's he's got to have a good game to pay off that price. Need to figure out which this 3K guy go off tonight: Walker, Butler, Forrest, or House. So Walker, let's see. So NAW, who you talking? MJ Walker? I don't even know who MJ Walker is. Yeah, I don't think I would be playing him. I'm guessing you're talking about Nikhil Alexander-Walker. So, yeah, NAW, Jared Butler, Trent Forrest, or Daniel House. I mean, my favorite there is probably NAW, especially if he starts. But like if Trent Forrest starts, he might be the best play there. It's definitely gonna depend on starting lineup for Utah. Thoughts on Hernan Gomez? I mean, I'm expecting him to maybe start in place of Royce O'Neal. If he doesn't start, I'm not like super high on him, but if he's in the starting lineup, he's a playable value. I would still have a lot of other guys put ahead of him. And are you planning on doing an MLB video tomorrow? I don't think so, Michael. I don't think so, my man. For me, when it comes to MLB, normally MLB is a sport that I do enjoy MLB, but I really dive into MLB after the NBA season. So I think for now, my plan is to just make NBA content up until the end of the season, till the playoffs end, and then after the NBA playoffs, after the season's over, then I'll decide if I want to start making MLB videos. I didn't even make any MLB videos last year. MLB is a sport, man. It's just like, I don't know. I enjoy playing it, but the content just doesn't do well. People just don't. MLB is a sport that just doesn't get a lot of traction. People don't enjoy watching it, so it's kind of almost like not even worth my time to make MLB content. But I'll definitely be in the MLB streets after NBA season's over. I'll be in there. And I always enjoy MLB. It's a fun sport to sweat, that's for sure. All right, last question we're going to answer from Jeremy, then we're going to hop out of here. He says Payne or Quickly. I mean, they're kind of different salaries. One's $1,000 more. I think it's points per dollar wise, I'd rather have Cameron Payne. So that's what I got for tonight, guys. Wish you the best of luck. It's another crazy slate. Like I said earlier, you're going to have to be paying attention to starting lineups, paying attention to news. At this point in the season, it's tough with teams' motivation. How are teams going to be are they going to be trying to win games, or they're just going to be tanking? I mean, we don't know right now, but starting lineups are going to be really important. Make sure you're paying attention to all that throughout the night. And as always, I wish you guys the best of luck. We'll be back tomorrow. I think we have a decent sized slate tomorrow, so I will see you guys in the stream tomorrow, an hour before lock. Enjoy the games tonight, and best of luck, fellas. Peace out.